2026 horror mystery based on a video game created by a YouTuber. We're of course talking about Iron Lung.
I just want to live. Is that so wrong? Why doesn't anybody else want that?
It took 3 years to make, and it doesn't have a distributor. So for those of you who are not sure what that means, it means that he started to get distribution by calling the cinemas himself. He managed to get 60 to start with. That snowballed into 1,000. Then it was taken up by a few chains, which made it into 5,000 across America. And with how big Markiplier is on YouTube and the sheer volume of fans that he has, he managed to get worldwide distribution on his own. Times are about to change in Hollywood.
I see that question in your eyes. For what purpose do we remain alone in the dark?
Starring Markiplier, Troy Baker. If his name sounds familiar, it's because he did Joel in The Last of Us, Jacksepticeye, Caroline Kaplan, Elle Lamont, and Elsie Lovelock. Written and directed by Markiplier.
Beginning the descent. Cruising depth in roughly 2 minutes. Stand by.
I ask myself that very same question.
I'm seeing some voltage irregularities on the instrument, so keep an eye out for sparks or flames or anything like that.
Why would there be flames?
You did test this thing, right?
This is the test.
Survivors of an apocalypse known as the Quiet Rapture send a convict down into the ocean of a moon. Only this ocean is nothing but pure blood. There, he must map out certain areas and take photos. What they're looking for, nobody really knows, but they'll know it when they see it. His submarine, the Iron Lung, was not designed for such depths, and so he's been welded in. And down there, he discovers something truly supernatural. The reason it's called the Quiet Rapture is because all the stars and planets have simply vanished. There are only space stations left. And, apparently, this moon.
Closing porthole shielding.
Where's the reason for this quiet rapture? Too few to rebuild, too many to feed.
You're the first one down. All we have are surface scans, that's why you're there. Well, one of the reasons.
Okay, let's start with the good. From what I hear, this is a slavishly close adaptation to the video game. That's what you get for working directly with the creator of such game. The cinematography is gorgeous. The sound design is on point and adds to the dread and suspense of the movie. They've done really well with this. At no point does this actually feel like an independent movie. It doesn't feel cheap. The set feels built and lived in. Markiplier actually does a solid job on the acting front. There are a few moments where I personally would have been like, you need to work on that type of skill for that type of scene, but they were exactly that, moments.
Can we just agree this is important? Food, air, we need this, not just the COI, all of us. We need this.
There aren't enough of us left to be throwing lives away, but there is too much at stake not to take calculated risks.
Now for the bad. This movie is way too long. It would have done well if it had at least a pass from a very skilled editor, whittling this movie down from the 2 hours that it is to around an hour and a half. Now, I'm sure that this is by design, but the movie drags. Also, sometimes the sets and scenes were so dark in the cinema that I was in, I couldn't see what was going on, and that really annoyed me. Perhaps it will translate better in 4K or Blu-ray. And whilst they did the isolation in this well, I felt that they went a little too far with the potential hallucinations. At one point, you weren't really sure, is this an hallucination or is this a vision being sent by the supernatural forces down there? None of this was clear. And I get it. I suppose if I played the game, maybe I would understand. But you've got to remember that this is a movie and therefore it has to stand on its own. I'm going to finish up by saying I don't think that this has worldwide appeal, but I'm very pleased that it's currently doing extremely well in the box office given the minuscule budget that it has. Because if somebody like this can do this, then all you directors and filmmakers out there, pay attention. Build an audience on social media, make a movie, get mass distribution on your own. It can be done, and he's proven this. But, and this is a big but, I don't think that I can recommend this for the audiences. I think if you're a fan of Markiplier, if you're a fan of the video game, and if, like me, you have some morbid curiosity about whether he could pull this off, go watch it. Because the answer is yes, he pulled it off incredibly well. But if you're more of a casual viewer or audience, you're not going to enjoy this. Anyway, my name is Murray on Movies. Follow for more, and catch me over at my YT channel, which I've literally just started. I'm going to do more long-form content over there. In the meantime, are you going to watch Iron Lung? And if so, tell me when. And if you already have, what did you think?
Eden doesn't understand that. You don't